All right, so today we're going to be diving into some...
And it's accessible to anyone who's willing to put in the work.
Right.
Now, the video starts by addressing those who are in the negative to zero net worth range.
Okay.
This is where a lot of us start, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you got some student loans weighing you down or some credit card debt.
Oh, yeah.
It can feel really daunting.
It can.
But the good news is you got time on your side.
Okay, so let's say you're in the negative to zero zone.
Yeah.
What are those first steps to turn things around?
Well, the money guys highlight 4 key actions.
Okay.
Paying down high-interest debt.
Okay.
Managing any new debt you have. Building assets.
Okay.
And insuring against catastrophe.
Right.
So they stress that, high-interest debt, like those credit cards,
right.
can be a real drain on your finances.
Yeah.
It's like trying to run a marathon with ankle weights.
So how do you tackle that debt?
Right.
They mentioned the snowball and avalanche methods, right?
Exactly. So imagine you've got, several credit cards with different balances and interest rates.
Okay.
The snowball method focuses on paying off the smallest debt first,
Okay.
regardless of the interest rate.
Gotcha.
This gives you a quick win,
Okay.
a sense of momentum
Yeah.
that can be really motivating, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's like checking things off your to-do list.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get that feeling of progress.
Precisely.
Okay.
If you're more focused on minimizing the total interest that you're going to pay,
Okay.
then the avalanche method might be a better approach.
Gotcha.
And here you prioritize the debt with the highest interest rate, regardless of the balance.
Okay.
It's like tackling the biggest fire first.
So it's about figuring out which strategy best suits, your personality and your goals.
Absolutely. And remember, this isn't about deprivation.
Right.
It's about making smart choices that set you up for the long haul.
Right. And speaking of smart choices, they have this interesting rule for buying a car, the 238 rule. So 20% down payment.
Gotcha.
3-year loan max.
Okay.
And payments under 8% of your gross income. I feel like car payments can be a real budget buster for people.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So this seems like a really practical guideline.
It is, because think about it. A longer loan might seem really appealing at first because it lowers your monthly payments.
Yeah.
But you end up paying way more in interest over time.
Oh, for sure.
And so this rule helps you avoid that trap.
Yeah.
And plus, they offer a really comprehensive car buying checklist on their website, moneyguy.com.
Oh, cool.
Which can be a huge help when you're navigating that whole process.
Okay, so you're chipping away at that debt.
Yeah.
You're making smarter choices about big purchases.
Right.
What's next?
Well, then it's time to start building assets.
Okay.
And the money guys emphasize the importance of their financial order of operations.
Oh, okay.
It starts with making sure that you have enough to cover your insurance deductibles.
Okay, so if something unexpected happens, you're not suddenly scrambling to come up with a bunch of money.
Exactly. It's about minimizing risk.
Right.
And creating that buffer.
Okay.
Then comes the all-important emergency fund.
Yeah.
3 to 6 months of living expenses stashed away in a safe, accessible account.
Okay, that's something that I hear about all the time. But honestly, building that emergency fund can feel pretty daunting when you're first starting out.
I understand that, but think about it this way.
Okay.
Having that financial cushion just gives you a sense of security and control.
Yeah.
Which can actually make it easier to make sound financial decisions.
Oh.
It's like having a safety net that allows you to take risks, but you're not going to completely fall flat.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you got your deductibles covered. Your emergency fund is growing.
Yes.
What else falls under building assets at this stage?
Well, investing.
Okay.
And one of the easiest ways to get started with that is by taking full advantage of any employer matching contributions to your 401k. It's essentially free money.
It's the best return on investment you can get, I hear.
It is.
Even if you can only put in a little bit.
Yeah.
Getting that full match is so important.
Yes, absolute crucial.
So you're tackling that debt, you're building your savings.
Right.
And now you're dipping your toes into investing. Sounds like you're making some serious progress.
Absolutely.
And one last crucial piece at this stage.
Yes.
Insurance.
Insurance, yes.
It's easy to think, I'm young, I'm healthy, I don't need it.
Right.
But unexpected events happen.
They do.
And having the right insurance coverage, health car renters, homeowners can protect you from a major financial setback.
Absolutely. It's a safety net for your whole financial plan.
So you've worked hard, you're making those smart choices,
right.
And you've hit that $0 to $100,000 net worth mark.
Right.
Congratulations.
Oh,
You're officially doing better than a significant portion of the population.
that's awesome.
But the journey doesn't stop there, does it?
Not at all.
Ah.
This is where things start to get really interesting.
Oh, okay.
You've laid the groundwork.
Mm-hmm.
You've built some really solid habits.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's time to shift gears and focus on aggressive growth.
Oh, okay.
But before we get into that,
Yeah.
let's take a quick break.
Okay.
We'll be back in a moment to explore the next stage of wealth-building strategies.
Sounds good. All right, we're back. And we just left off talking about hitting that $100,000 net worth milestone.
Yeah,
It feels like a big accomplishment,
it is.
but I imagine it also comes with new challenges and opportunities, right?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's a point where I think a lot of people start to feel a real sense of momentum,
Mm-hmm.
but also some uncertainty about how to best leverage that growth.
Okay.
The money guys call this the aggressively investing phase.
Okay.
But it's not about, making risky bets or chasing trends.
So it's not suddenly switching gears and putting all your money in meme stocks.
Definitely not.
Okay, good.
It's about consistently saving and investing as much as you possibly can, ideally aiming for that 25% savings rate of your gross income.
Okay.
Now, that might sound like a lot,
Yeah.
but remember, any increase in your savings rate is a win.
Okay.
Any progress is good progress.
Gotcha.
They also highlight the power of Roth IRAs and HSAs for tax-free growth.
Okay, can you break that down a bit for those of us who maybe aren't familiar with those terms?
Sure. So a Roth IRA is a retirement account where you contribute after-tax dollars,
Okay.
meaning you won't owe taxes on those earnings when you withdraw them in retirement.
Gotcha.
It's a fantastic tool for long-term growth,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're in a lower tax bracket now than you expect to be in retirement.
Okay, and an HSA, that's a health savings account.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, it's a tax-advantaged account specifically for healthcare expenses.
Okay.
Contributions are tax-deductible.
Mm-hmm.
The money grows tax-free,
Okay.
and you can withdraw it tax-free for qualified medical expenses.
Wow.
So it's like a triple tax advantage.
So you're maxing out those tax advantage accounts, steadily investing, and you've hit that next milestone,
Yeah.
$100,000 to $500,000 net worth.
Right.
The money guys call this the boiling point.
Yes.
What makes this stage so exciting?
Well, it's where your wealth-building habits really start to compound.
Okay.
You've got a solid foundation. You're consistently saving and investing,
Yeah.
and you're starting to see some significant returns.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching a pot of water on the stove.
Okay.
It seems like nothing's happening for a while, and then suddenly it starts bubbling like crazy.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So what should you be focusing on when you've reached this boiling point?
Well, they stress continuing to aim for that 25% savings rate
Okay.
and transitioning from kind of a generalized financial plan
Right.
to something that's more tailored to your specific situation.
Okay.
This means thinking about asset allocation.
Asset allocation.
Yeah, essentially deciding how to divide your investments
Okay.
across different asset classes,
Mm-hmm.
like stocks, bonds, and real estate.
Yep.
The specific mix will depend on factors like your risk tolerance,
Yeah.
your time horizon, and your financial goals.
So it's not just about putting all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Diversification is key to managing risk and maximizing returns over the long run.
Gotcha. And they also talk about asset location,
Yes.
which is choosing the right type of account for each investment to minimize taxes.
That's right.
So, for example, holding stocks in a tax advantage account like a Roth IRA
Exactly.
would be beneficial.
It allows those investments to grow tax-free for years,
Okay.
compounding those returns even further.
They also remind us to reassess our insurance needs at this stage.
Yes.
Why is that so important?
Well, as your life changes,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you get married, have kids, buy a house,
Mm-hmm.
your insurance needs change too.
Okay.
It's about protecting yourself and your loved ones from those unexpected events that could really derail your financial progress.
Mm-hmm.
Having those uncomfortable conversations about life insurance, disability insurance, even estate planning.
Yeah, so making sure that your safety net is as strong as your financial foundation.
Exactly.
Okay, speaking of big life changes, this is also the stage where a lot of people start thinking seriously about buying a home.
Yes,
It's a huge financial decision.
it is.
And I know the money guys have some specific advice on how to approach it responsibly.
They do. They recommend a minimum 5-year timeline. Meaning
Okay.
you plan to stay in that home for at least that long.
Okay.
They also say that a 3 to 5% down payment is perfectly acceptable.
Okay.
And to keep your total housing costs under 25% of your gross income.
So it's about making a sustainable decision.
Yeah,
that won't stretch your budget too thin and derail your long-term financial goals.
absolutely. It's about building wealth sustainably and responsibly.
And just like with the car buying checklist, they offer in-depth home buying guides on their website.
They do.
Okay, so you've hit that boiling point.
Yeah.
Your investments are cooking,
All right.
and you're making those smart strategic decisions. You've officially entered the $500,000 to $1 million net worth range,
Wow.
what they call escape velocity.
Escape velocity.
Yeah, it feels like you're really hitting your stride now.
You are. And this is where that compounding effect we talked about really becomes powerful.
Okay.
So the same $10,000 annual investment that took you 20 years to grow to $500,000 will now only take you 3.5 years to reach $1 million.
Oh, wow, that's incredible.
That's the magic of compound interest.
Yeah, but with that kind of financial success, I imagine it's easy to fall into the trap of, I've made it.
Right.
Like, I can relax now.
That's a common pitfall. But maintaining wealth requires just as much diligence and discipline as building it.
Yeah.
The money guys really stress the importance of determining whether you're still in that make wealth phase
Right.
or transitioning to the maintain wealth phase.
Okay.
And this distinction is crucial because it affects your approach to risk and other financial decisions.
So if you're still in the make wealth phase, you might be comfortable taking on more risk. But if you're shifting to maintain wealth, then preserving what you've got becomes a higher priority.
Exactly. And this is where understanding the difference between risk tolerance and risk capacity becomes really important.
Okay.
As you get closer to needing those investments to fund your lifestyle, your capacity for risk changes, even if your tolerance for risk stays the same.
Okay.
You simply can't afford to take as many chances when your financial security is on the line.
Right. They also mention exploring more advanced tax strategies at this stage.
Yeah.
Things like backdoor Roth contributions, Roth conversions, even mega backdoor Roth options. Can you shed some light on what those are and why they might be relevant at this level?
Sure. So these are strategies that can help you minimize your tax burden
Okay.
and keep more of your hard-earned money working for you. For example, a Roth conversion involves moving money from a traditional IRA,
Okay.
where you get a tax deduction up front,
Right.
to a Roth IRA where you pay taxes up front, but then enjoy tax-free withdrawals in retirement.
Got it.
This can be particularly beneficial if you expect to be in a higher tax bracket in retirement.
Okay, and a backdoor Roth. That sounds a little clandestine.
Well, it's a way to contribute to a Roth IRA even if your income exceeds the normal limits.
Okay.
It involves making an after-tax contribution to a traditional IRA and then converting it to a Roth IRA.
Okay.
It's a bit more complex.
Yeah.
But it can be a valuable tool for high earners who want to take advantage of that tax-free growth potential of a Roth IRA.
So it's about getting strategic with your finances, looking for those opportunities to maximize your returns while minimizing your tax liability.
Precisely. And they also advise reconsidering your cash position at this point.
Okay.
Do you have enough readily available funds to cover short-term needs without having to borrow?
Right.
This ties back to that sense of financial security we were talking about.
Yeah, it's like having that solid financial cushion
Right.
that allows you to navigate unexpected expenses or opportunities without having to disrupt your long-term plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And finally, they address the ever-present temptation of lifestyle creep.
Oh, yeah.
It's natural to want to enjoy your financial success,
Right.
but it's crucial to do so responsibly.
I can see how that could be a trap. You start earning more and suddenly you're tempted to upgrade everything.
Right.
Your house, your car, your vacations.
And before you know it, you're spending just as much, if not more, than you were before.
Yeah.
Despite having significantly more wealth.
Right.
They warn against this moving the goalposts mentality.
So it's about defining what truly brings you happiness and fulfillment, not just what looks impressive to other people.
Exactly. It's about aligning your spending with your values and your priorities, not just your income.
Well said. And with that, we've reached the pinnacle of our journey so far.
Okay.
A net worth of $1 million or more, excluding your primary residence.
Why?
You're officially in the top 12%.
Reaching that $1 million mark is a huge accomplishment.
It is.
But the journey doesn't end there, does it?
It does not. What do the money guys have to say about navigating this level of wealth?
Let's find out.
All right, so we're back.
Yeah.
And we're entering the rarefied air of the $1 million plus club.
The big leagues.
Yeah, it's a level of financial success that most people only dream of.
Right.
But as we've heard, it's not about like crossing a finish line and declaring victory, right?
Exactly. The journey evolves.
Yeah.
The money guys emphasize that reaching this milestone doesn't mean abandoning the principles that got you there.
Okay.
In fact, it's quite the opposite. They call it dancing with the one that brung ya.
So it's not about suddenly, getting fancy and chasing those risky, complex investments just because you have more capital to play with.
Not at all. It's about sticking with the fundamentals that have proven to work over time.
Right.
Living below your means, managing risk-controlling taxes, and saving consistently.
It's a good reminder that those core principles apply no matter how much wealth you accumulate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Consistency and discipline are key.
For sure. They also caution against getting seduced by those sexy investments
Right.
or complex schemes that promise those like outsized returns.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, complexity often equates to increased risk.
Yeah.
And at this stage, preserving your capital is just as important as growing it.
So you're sticking to your proven strategies,
Right.
resisting the urge to complicate things unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm.
But is there room for adding new elements to your financial plan at this stage?
Absolutely. Reaching this level of financial success often opens up new opportunities that weren't available before.
Okay.
They talk about exploring real estate, starting a business, or investing in one.
Those are some pretty big moves.
Yeah.
It sounds like this stage is about thinking bigger and leveraging your wealth to create even more opportunities.
It is, but they emphasize careful consideration and due diligence
Right.
before jumping into any new venture.
So you're not just writing a blank check for your nephew's latest startup idea.
Probably not a wise move.
Okay.
It's about approaching those opportunities strategically, with a clear understanding of the risks and potential rewards.
They also talk about shifting from a make wealth mindset to a maintain wealth mindset at this stage.
Yes.
What does that shift look like in practice?
Well, it often involves de-risking both your life and your portfolio.
Okay.
This might mean paying down any remaining low-interest debt,
Mm-hmm.
shifting your investment strategy to be more conservative,
Okay.
and ensuring you have adequate insurance coverage for your current lifestyle.
So it's about building a fortress around your wealth,
Yeah.
protecting it from potential threats and ensuring its longevity.
Precisely. And they also highlight the value of seeking professional advice at this point.
Okay.
A trusted financial advisor can provide an objective perspective and help you navigate the complexities of managing significant wealth.
It makes sense as your financial situation becomes more complex. Having a knowledgeable guide can be invaluable.
Absolutely. And remember, building wealth isn't just about accumulating money.
Great.
It's about creating a life of freedom and fulfillment.
That's a great point to bring it back to, we've talked a lot about the nuts and bolts of building wealth. But ultimately, it's about using that wealth to live a life that aligns with your values and aspirations.
Exactly. What brings you joy?
Right.
What impact do you want to make on the world?
Yeah.
How can your financial resources support those goals?
All right.
These are questions worth pondering as you continue on your wealth-building journey.
Maybe it's funding your dream travel adventures,
Yeah.
supporting a cause you're passionate about, or simply having the freedom to spend more time with loved ones.
Or perhaps it's starting that business you've always dreamed of, pursuing a creative passion, or investing in your own personal growth and development. The possibilities are endless when you have the financial resources to pursue them.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Money Guy's wealth building strategies, I think the key takeaway is this.
Yeah.
Building wealth is a journey, not a destination. It's about making those smart choices, developing those good habits, and constantly evolving your approach as your circumstances change.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And it's about remembering that wealth is a tool, not an end in itself. Use it wisely, use it purposefully, and use it to create a life that feels truly fulfilling.
Well said.
We hope this deep dive has provided you with some valuable insights and inspiration for your own wealth building journey.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check out the Money Guy Show on YouTube for even more great financial advice.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.